You said you're gonna go for the MRI scan. So tell us about that. Now get scheduled for the MRI.
No,
You go
man.
along with your parents, and yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I was on my own because I did this when we came back into school.
Oh wait, you played football when we started in college.
Yeah. Okay. So I lapped into a year, right? So pretty much I'm playing throughout our time before college.
Yeah.
While in college, I'm playing through our holidays as well. This is in first year.
Yeah.
So I think this is when I was coming in probably second year.
Is this the time you had
second semester of first year. Yeah.
This is the time you had the Mercurials.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
nice. Those ones were nice, man.
Anybody that's played on the Mercurials, bro, amazing
beautiful,
boots,
beautiful.
light. But yeah, so we go on to have MRI scan.
Yeah.
We managed to get it done. Queens. By the way, best sleep I've ever had, because once you put in those, I don't know whether it's like the radio waves or whatever, doctor joint is going on there, but slept in there like a baby, came out. Yeah, exactly. So, they give me like a digital file with all the information, and I go hit up Kampondeni.
All right.
Shout out to the man's, obviously one of the best at his job in that field. So he's able to sort of like go through the imaging and he had this little moment like when he's analyzing like my imagery, right? Where he's kind of giving me like,
What's happening here?
And I'm there all tentative in the back, like, hey man, how bad is it?
Yeah.
Low key, I might have suspected it, but I didn't think it was like that because I didn't know that I would be able to get back on my feet. And that's kind of when he told me that, hey man, you actually tore your ACL. But it was actually, so the thing is, what happened is the first time I got injured, that was a tear, right? So it wasn't completely ruptured, but because of the constant activity and the sort of constant playing and just popping it back into place, it actually made it worse.
Oh, right, because that means you're putting forces.
Yeah, I'm putting force already on an already pretty much done out knee. So yeah, that's when he kind of told me, gave me just like the harsh news that, hey, you are not capable of playing, high activity sports, involved like lots of cuts and stuff.
So that means
basketball's out, squash is out, volleyball's out, tennis is out,
football is out.
Out, bruh. All I had was cycling and jogging.
Man, that's sad. Those are old people sports, man.
Yeah, that's what they tell you, like at the hospital when your BP's up, like, hey, you need to cycle more, hey, you need to run more, okay, so it takes away like the most valuable part of sports to me, and that's the community aspect, the social connectivity. So it made the whole exercise routine is pretty dull for me. Like now, I'd rather. And what happens is you're going through school, you finish school, you start to work, you're at the desk for 8 hours, you're driving to everywhere you need to be. The weight gain was just mad, man.
You became a fat man. I remember, man, you had the mad cheeks, bro. It was crazy.
Oh, bro, they were inflated, man.
What's this person eating, bro?
I used to blame it on the family genetics. Like, we're like this in our family. Like, we are, though. But,
Everybody has the excuses.
Exactly. Deniability, bro. That's one of the early stages of weight gain. So, yeah, it was honestly a tough time because, and with the taking away of those aspects, the sports, the social aspects, kind of made things feel a little dull for me, Yeah,
I can imagine because I can't stay over 2-3 weeks without sports.
I bet you get that itch like when you've stayed like maybe 3 days without playing. You get an itch like just back in, bro.
Yeah, so I need to get back in. So man, I can't go over 2 weeks. 2 weeks is max for me. After 2 weeks, I start to feel weird because I've been doing sports for at least twice a week since I was 12 years old. So it's been something I've done throughout my whole life. So not doing it could feel
very dull. Yeah,
so,
definitely.
So yeah, man. So how's it like living with it after the news? What do you do, bruv? No surgery. Wait, you said you...
Oh yeah, well I did, yeah, I forgot that part actually, because there are two ways of dealing with it. Either I could leave it as it was, and you can live with the injury. All it just means is that you're restricted to do those things that I mentioned.
No
right?
movement, some movements restricted.
Yeah. Oh, I had to be careful on stairs. When driving, because apparently I could have a knee pop while I'm driving.
But that's a manual car, isn't it?
Yeah, manual cars that are very high usage of your
lateral movement on
Bro, I had to be mad careful, because my leg was like pretty much loose, So, you know, that had its effects. It was hard, because now what started happening is because these things are taken away from you, you lose your... You kind of find, I don't want to go on like a whole depression trajectory. That's not it. But
that's not it.
You kind of find yourself in a very weird hole where you're somebody that loves this and you care about how you look, but then now you're starting to look off, you know.
Yeah, you're starting to
And
feel...
I remember the worst time is when it was at the heat of COVID, where it was even worse because now we're working from home and stuff.
You're not going out.
You're not going out, nothing. And I was gonna get my COVID shot. Now, I don't know if you did it too, but you know, every time somebody got what was the name of the brand of the COVID? I can't remember the name, but anyway, but anytime somebody got their shot, you know, people would post about it like, hey, got my jab, got my jab. I was with my cousin when we were getting ours, and I told him, hey man, take a picture. I'm getting my jab, bruh. So Mans takes the photo, you know, you're gonna post it like, hey, you know. I look at this photo, bro, and I look like an absolute sloth, bro.
Yeah, big man.
Bro, I look like Patrick the Starfish, bro.
Like, that's the reference.
Like I could see, I was wearing a golf shirt. I could literally see my stomach hanging from my sides. My legs have always been big, yes, but they're just,
there's more fat.
I just was disgusted with myself.
I understand. I mean, and I know that feeling can be like a moment of like reality hits.
That's when reality hits, and just like, man, I have to do something about this, because you know, our culture, you know, plays out like a lot of, you know, the effects of this stuff, you know, eating the wrong stuff and diabetes, blood pressure. You can get them early if you're not careful, and that was a big fear for me.
Yeah, like you go into this spiral of whatever. What do you call this? Lifestyle diseases?
Whatever. Exactly.
So how did you recover ever since, man? Like from ACL, now you can't do sports. You get super fat. So do you stay in the rut, or what's your Rocky Balboa story?
You found an outro, bro. You find what the next big thing is, you know. And you know, it's I was really skeptical about it, because we actually used to talk about this back in school. Where it's like, yeah, bro, I can hit the gym, you know.
Yeah, it used to be a theme. It's always a theme, man.
And funny enough, the first time I hit the gym, I did in school, right? For a little 2-week period. I don't even remember that. But that was because of a breakup.
I remember that.
Let's not talk about.
Man's motivated.
That was what my motivation was. But what you find is when your motivations are wrong, it's hard to find the drive and the consistency to maintain something. So I found myself thinking about, maybe it would be a good idea like to go back and just like, you know, I'm not gonna do something ultra serious, because I hated the gym. I hated the gym.
Most soccer players hate the gym.
Exactly.
I don't understand why.
Because it takes away your mobility. The weights and the added you're putting pressure on your muscles. As athletes, you need to have muscles that are reactive, can stretch, because that's what your movements are. Working out and gymming involves you tearing your muscles up and regrowing it so that they become bigger. So you become very tight. That's why when people are, people that work out, right? When they're walking like this, right? It was just like, hey, he's just trying to show that, you know, he's pretty tough and you're like, can take on anybody. But nah, that's just how it is.
That's his muscle, like the strength, the mobility. As a basketball player, you know, you are encouraged to go into the gym because basketball relies on, you know, strength, speed, and what do you call this, vertical leap, and all those types of.
Yes.
But I feel like with football, because of the length of the game, you don't need you need a body that can handle different situations and longer endurance. And I think that's why I noticed most soccer players kind of have an aversion to the gym.
Oh, tell me about it. But even in basketball, if I'm not mistaken, most of the gym work tends to be a lot of like upper body and stuff, because you need to be able to hold your defender off. You need to be able to drive in. Yeah. So there's not. I don't know if there's as much emphasis on heavy work onto the legs, but I get what you mean.
I feel like young players, like if you look at young LeBron used to be very big. He used to be like he used to look like a football player.
True.
When he was getting older, he had to lose some weight. Because they said, as you're saying, the knees were starting to show some.
Once you start getting heavy and older, like those knees don't hold up as well as they do.
A good example as well was Iguodala. Remember Iguodala? Yeah. When he was younger, he was a big kid. I mean, he was muscular. He was jumping all over the place. As he grew older, they changed his diet for him to lose that weight.
So really? That's why he still had like a lot of cut muscle, right?
Yeah, he still had the cut muscle. Like, he still got it, man. But I get it.
So the gym pretty much was the best way of me shedding off of my weight, but at the same time involved the least amount of movement for me. So I kind of, I remember like it was yesterday. This was the day after getting my shot. I was working from home for this company, right? And I was clocking off my hours. This must have been like probably 6:30 in the evening. I took my car keys. I just started going around like the city, just looking like where can I get like a nice gym that has what I need. Something obviously that matches my demands in terms of costs or affordability, access and stuff. And I found one, and I actually meet a friend of ours, like a mutual friend of ours, Chimwemwe. Actually, I think I saw like Chimwemwe Songwe.
Oh yeah,
Kanye. Shout out to the boy.
Shout out to Kanye.
I saw him like on Instagram, post some workouts, and I saw like the place, and I did ask him, and he said like, hey, sometime you can come by here and just come check the place out. I go there, I find him, and he tells me just like, hey man, welcome, feel free. Here's like the guy that runs the place. You can figure out like a nice sort of pattern or routine for yourself. So that's when I met my trainer for the first time.
What gym is this, by the way?
His name is Precious. His name is Precious. Anybody that knows the Fit and Fit gym, Lilongwe Golf Club, Fit and Fit.
Fit and Fit gym, Lilongwe Golf Club.
Yeah, they know they know the place. He's pretty much the guy that runs the whole set there. So I meet him. There's always this like first interaction when you meet, like when you're that person that is coming for the first time. Everybody knows, because everybody knows who comes here. And then the guy sees you and just like, what is he doing here?
What's the fat man doing here?
What's the fat guy doing in here? Oh, it's another one of them that, New Year's resolution kids and stuff. Like,
they'll do it for a few months and then they'll feel the pain.
So I told him like, hey man, I want to start this. I'm really serious about this. I want to start tomorrow. He's just like, all right, just bring your workout gear. Make sure if you got any like protective equipment and stuff, like come through, So I came through the next day. It was funny because I thought like we're just gonna get into weights, which we did, but now he puts like a set of like 5 kg weights, for me to just like curl. I think he was just trying to like test me, right?
See
and I pick these things up, right? And I'm trying to go at like an alternative curl, right? My hands are literally wobbling by the 5th rep. I can't balance. I've got no strength in me. It was like, hey man, put those down. We're not doing that. It's like, wait, what's up? We just started. He's like, nah, I need you to build stamina. I need you to shed weight, and I need you to build a level of base strength. So the work that we're gonna do is on and with your body. So we started literally cardio workouts for 3, maybe 4 straight months. I didn't touch a single weight.
No weights for 3 months.
So it's running, it's jumping, it's ropes, warrior ropes, it's sledging, man.
So body weight exercises.
Yeah, so all body weighted exercise, because the idea is there's no way you can go figure out how to carry something if you can barely handle your own body. So, he put me on that program. Those couple weeks, there was some nasty days and he used to be very aggressive on me in the early days because I used to nag and it's like, hey man, but that's enough, bro. Like, I thought we said we'd be done by this. I used to nag a lot, bro.
You used to nag the gym trainer.
I used to nag at him, but shout out to him because it's easy sometimes for I don't know what he saw in me, he was just kind of like, this guy's got a little something about him. Maybe it was the sporting background that
I think the competitiveness from the sporting background.
So maybe he would tell me to do 10 reps, right? I probably wouldn't get to 10, but I would fight through the rest of the 9.
Like
you know what I mean?
As...
Exactly. So, we built that balance. And after 3 months, I came into the gym clocking 105 kgs.
Yeah.
And by the first 3-4 months, I was down to a 91.
91, that's like close to 10.
That's what 13
kilos.
I was 13 kilos down. I had shed so much, bro. I could see my cheekbones.
Yeah, like, oh, finally something looks different.
Something looks different. Yeah. The belly started to come, the back weight was starting to disappear, my legs started have always been big, but my calves also started and that's when he was just like, all right, now we're good to go. Let's get ourselves on some weights. And 3-4 years later, man, the rest is history.
4 years, man.
4 years. I'll be clocking my 4th year by the end of April, and best believe when I say mad consistent. Now there are weeks and days where you can miss 2 days a week, maybe 3 days a week on those busy weekends where I'm traveling for work and stuff. But
impressed, bro.
I have not. I've tried my best to at least get 3 weeks out of every week. Yeah. So yeah, we used to do 6 days a week in the initial phases because we're really trying to get over that threshold in good time. And then we started to then go to 5 days. These days we're even comfortable with a 4-day program if we need to. But
now you got to.
And you. To be quite honest, it's easy for gyms to feel very uncomfortable because the first time you walk in, your presumptions are, I'm gonna walk in with these incredibly large, muscular alpha males, that kind of make you feel out of place in your own body because you're going there to, But what I quickly learned is that the gym is actually a safe space of misfits, of different people trying to figure their bodies out.
One thing I like about the gym is it's a place it's a hospital, sort of. So it's sort of a hospital. The kind of person who goes to the gym is a person who has acknowledged their own weakness.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's the kind of thing where I'm seeing skinny guys going at it. I'm seeing the fat guys going at it. I'm seeing the medium dudes trying to figure themselves out. And in a way, my assumption was always you could never find community in the gym because you're working out on your own. I was completely proven wrong because it is very accountable in there. You build a community or a circle of guys that you see constantly from day to day. When I miss a day or I miss a day or two, they'll be like, hey man, we haven't seen you. Where you been? I say, hey, you've been missing. Oh, you coming with us on this one. We're about to deadlift this. So it actually became a lot more accountable than I thought. And I found a great social space now. It became a very peaceful place for me. Wow. And it was one of the best life decisions that I've ever made.
I'm really happy.
It's easy to say the physical appearance is not part of it. It is. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But
I think those are the eventual benefits that come out of the ultimate benefits. You start to look better, but the discipline, the ability to face your own self, is a really. It's a really important part of being in the gym. So,
and you actually start to do even a lot more research, you go beyond just because shedding weight is not that hard. Because pretty much all you literally have to do, be in a caloric deficit or eat less. Okay. That's all you have to do to lose weight.
Eat less food than your body uses.
Exactly. But can you eat less for the rest of your life? That's hard to do. That's really hard to do. And because the gym is so physically demanding, you tend to find yourself in places where we have what we call reward meals. I hit this deadlift, bro. I hit this 140, man. I deserve me a full plate of
I deserve a milkshake or something.
Yeah. So what happens is when you start your first 3-4 months of weightlifting, you develop you get baby gains. We call them baby gains. That's your initial muscles starting to really be made apparent. And then you plateau. You plateau. And the plateau is where you truly define whether or not you want to maintain at this or whether you're just going to give up and stop completely.
Because nothing happens for those.
This is pretty much your body getting used to the idea of putting and sustaining pressure on itself.
You know what I think about those plateauing? That's where like if you're the kind of person who hates the gym, you can use a sport to measure those like to measure your performance, because you're like, shit, I can't see anything.
I can't see. So maybe that's the difference.
I feel like in a plateau phase, and that's my opinion, where you can just use a sport to give you that like a guidance to say, okay, if I'm getting better at this, because I think in sports you notice when you're getting a little bit faster, stronger. Yeah, maybe that can help, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah. But with this one, it's almost like I'm doing the same routine. I'm being a little bit more flexible with the routine, but the goal is physical change. Our end goal is physical change. Your end goal is performance. So you're assessing your speed, your movement, your leap, and all this. For this, like, I want to see myself look better. Now, I've been doing this for 8 months and nothing has changed. My weight is still the same. My body diameter is still the same. Oh, by the way, fun fact for everybody. Sometimes it can be deceiving to just operate on how you're getting bigger or smaller based just on scale alone. It's good to measure your body parts. You measure your biceps, you measure your chest circumference, you measure your belly. And sometimes those things,
waist ratio?
Waist ratios, exactly. Hip to waist ratios. That's what you kind of use to.
For women, that's a very big
For the women especially, that's the best way to assess how your progress is sort of manifesting itself. But I found myself plateauing. And this is where now you kind of do a bit more research. So I started like diving into like a lot of books. What am I learning? YouTube. What am I like? I was about to say books. I started reading books. I started to dive into like a lot of YouTube and a lot of articles. And that's where now I started being introduced to the idea of what it is I'm eating, my consumption, what it is I'm putting into my body. And that's when I realized, wait, it makes no sense for you to, have a strong sort of arm workout where you burned like a certain amount of fat and broken down a certain amount of muscle, and then for you to go jump and have like a full glass of juice at the end of the day.
Actually, I mean, it doesn't make any sense, because that means you just replace the same
You're just
calories.
repelling the things, so you find yourself just in this consistent line. So that's when I started to become more interested in just like the actual dietary aspect of
because I noticed when we met the time, you told me it completely changed your diet and everything.
Completely changed my diet, bro. I started to understand macronutrients more, the responsibilities of carbs, the balance between fats. And just like how these dynamics sort of work to fit the body. And so that's when I started to, change the approach in terms of my consumption, and started to figure out how can I fill myself up, but not put in as much carbs into my food. How can I fuel myself to do the work and feel energetic, but not gain weight from that? So you start to like really examine just the food patterns. And it actually became a lot simpler than I thought, because the moment people say diet, people think eat less.
Diet means don't eat.
It means don't eat. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It means, yes, reduce your portions per unit time. But what it's also saying is add more things to what it is
you're reducing. You also you trade off other things.
Exactly. The difference between having a cereal for breakfast that's only going to last in your stomach before you start getting hungry within 2 hours, versus
cereal, cornflakes is the worst form of breakfast.
You know what I mean? Versus you having oats that keep you filled up beyond the lunch hours. So I started to say, whole grain foods are a great thing to add into what I'm having. Oats and stuff like this, wheat bix, adding more fibers so that I feel more, I can feel for better, I'm gonna try satiety.
Satiety, or
satiated. Satiated? Is that what?
Yeah, but I know the verb is satiated.
Yeah, exactly. So that you feel more satisfied in what it is that you're taking in. I started to replace my carbs. So in this case, I started to go from white rices to brown rice.
You eat brown rice now?
Yeah, brown rice is my go-to. Yeah, brown rice is my go-to. I replaced white and sima with ngaiwa. Because the nutritional benefit from ngaiwa is great.
Funny story about ngaiwa. I came to your house one time. I found your dad cooking ngaiwa, man.
That's what he takes in. That's what he takes in.
That's what he eats as well.
That's his secret, man. That's his secret.
Because he looks young as well. He looks like he's in 40s. Isn't he?
He's been on that for probably the last 8-9 years.
Eats nothing else.
Eats nothing.
What about occasions, like special occasions?
Special occasions, you can, have yourself, that. But my point is just the consistent taking in of white foods, completely avoids
so
it.
So that means white bread,
Out.
What's this? White rice.
Out.
Simaera. Out. So you're eating foods that like whole base, like the whole plant. You're eating the whole plant.
Exactly. So that you feel more full. At the same time as well, you're trying to take out, you're trying to take in proteins, but you're trying to take in less fat.
Okay.
So you're taking more white meats. So I'm eating like a lot of chicken. Obviously, I do have like red meats in my diet because I can't go that far. But then you're more intentional with what type of meat. So I like lean, for example, mince. I love lean mince. I don't have full mince.
You don't have the fatty mince.
Yes, I don't have the fatty mince because those have too much oils and lipids that just stay stuck in your body. But lean mince, lean meat portions, these things genuinely help. So it's like I said, it's not necessarily, diets are not about you eating less. It's about what things can I add to what I take in that make me feel more fulfilled. In between meals, for example, you could have watermelons. You could have
a fruit like
pumpkins, things like these. These genuinely help you feel more heavy and full
from the ground
at the end of everything.
And processed foods. So yeah, man. Well, a few months ago, I was doing the what do you call this thing? This intermittent fasting thing. Would you recommend it, or what do you know about it?
Nope, I would not recommend it, bro. I would not recommend it.
I've been skipping breakfast.
You've been skipping breakfast? Yeah. Which one have you doing? Like the 12-hour window program?
I got this information. There's the one that I read somewhere online. They were saying you have to skip the first meal of the day. Just delay the first meal of the day. So my first meal will be at lunch. So that's what I'll do. I'll skip the first, let's just say the first 6 hours of the day. And I saw impact because, a few months prior, before the intermittent fasting thing, I gained a bit of belly and I use it, kind of helped me in losing the belly fat, kind of get a flat tummy, worked on my abs. So it kind of helped, but I don't know, I didn't have full information. But man, maybe.
I know what you mean though, because trust me, it does work. It does work in the sense that so there are a bunch of different varieties or ratios to which you split your time. So intermittent fasting pretty much is setting a window that you can eat, right? So usually you allow yourself, for example, a 12-hour window depending on your size, or you can go for an 8-hour window. I tried the 8-hour window where like the only time I could start taking anything was from lunch to 8 o'clock in the evening. That was my window. And anytime only thing you could have is like waters and coffee. Actually, not even fruits, because fruits do contain sugars in them.
Oh my God, no way.
What you're trying to do the goal of the intermittent fasting approach is you're trying to fulfill yourself. Now, you don't just go like, oh, I can eat pizza and I can have like, a burger, a cheesy burger. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to fuel your body with the calories it needs, but put your body into a state or what we call ketosis.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Where you burn all the energy you need that is stored in glucose, which is, or glycogen, which is stored into your livers. But once that is burnt out, that's where now your body starts to convert fat into energy that you use.
So you're saying that in ketosis, it's the body burning its own energy. That's why that's the beauty of the fasting.
That's the beauty of intermittent fasting, because what it does is it takes away your need for finding energy in the sugars that you've just taken. Because you remember the process of like carbohydrates, how they're converted into glucose and glycogen, stored in the liver. Anything extra gets stored into the fat layers on the skin. So ketosis, disclaimer, I'm not a nutritional expert, but from my knowledge, right, it now starts to, your body now starts to take those from your skin layer and then burn. That's why you notice quick results.
Yeah, I did, man. Oh, man, I could see the outline, shapes, whatever.
But the reason why at the top of it I said I don't recommend it is because if you're looking for quick results, it's all fine, but it's not sustainable. Because how often would you find yourself feeling very hungry in those dull windows?
Oh man, ask me about the weekends. That's where the weekends were where it was. I was like, okay, I've hurt myself all week.
So you say like, hey man, like I gotta have like a bowl of peanuts. I gotta have some fruit. The moment you break that ketosis window, you've broken the intermittent fasting requirement. Now, for most people, sometimes it won't make a significant difference. But for somebody that's truly trying to lose genuinely, that can be hard. That's why I don't encourage intermittent fasting. If you want quick results, do it. But something more sustainable